Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Teachings of Joseph Question of the Week. We got so many questions by email, we decided to put them into a podcast and share them with everybody. Hopefully, it will answer some questions you may have too. So welcome aboard, sit back, relax, let's have some fun. When does one know that their earth physical experience no longer serves their movement forward towards a fifth dimensional experience? And do those that reside there, that are more highly evolved, come back to assist humanity? Are they not affected by third dimensional experience? Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It's been a little while since I've been on the mic, and I appreciate your patience. As most of you know, there have been and are some pretty intense energies coming in, and I have been taking full advantage of them. And for me, that means that I'm spending more time focusing on my own alignment, chatting with Joseph, getting new processes to share, and gaining more understanding of my own path and what we're moving into. So it's all fun stuff. I hope you guys are doing the same. Really important that we focus on ourselves from time to time whenever you get the impulse to do that. It's important because we have to evolve first, right? You guys are teachers, and we have to evolve an example for others, right? So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, hope everybody's well. This week's question that I just read comes from John. John follows us on Instagram religiously and always has great questions and comments about our quotes, and we appreciate him so much. So thank you, John, for everything. We appreciate your focus on this collective movement forward and sharing your thoughts, because as you guys know, the questions that come through for Joseph and for most channels are not only for the asker, but they're also for those who are seeking the answer. So let's get into this really cool question. I'm going to tell you now that this is going to be a little circular because, again, and always, we're always talking about vibration, and it gets a little circular. So hang in there with me. So the first part of John's question, again, is, when does one know that their earth physical experience no longer serves their movement forward towards the fifth dimensional experience? Very interestingly put. And the answer is, of course, vibrational, right? So first, when you're speaking about our evolution, the evolution of the human aspect through and out of the third dimension, which is what we're doing, right? Think about it from the soul's perspective, from the perspective of the collective you. That means all your aspects. You're the physical aspects. There are aspects of you who are vibrating on other physical timelines. There's your soul aspect who's calling us forward. That's the collective you. It's all of you, okay? Because that's where our eternal pathway is. So if you shift your focus right in the beginning to think about it from your soul's perspective, you'll see it in a different way. And remember, our eternal pathway is always being created. We are co-creating it all the time. It's the bigger picture, okay? Just step away. So we know when our third dimensional experience doesn't serve our movement forward anymore, when we, meaning our physical vibration, are not in vibrational agreement with it anymore. The it being the third dimension, right? Remember, you are always in vibrational agreement with whatever you're experiencing because you created it. So that's the short answer, and here's the explanation. Think about this movement as a morphing of sorts, and it's a morphing into and a blending of the more expanded vibrations of us, which are the vibrations and the consciousness of the more expanded you, which is your soul, your higher self, inner being, whatever you want to call it, because it's all the same vibration. Remember, you are always in vibrational agreement, vibrational alignment with a vibrational timeline, okay, with a consciousness. And that consciousness is the consciousness of your level of awareness of who you really are, which is your non-physical aspect, which is your soul. And we're just wearing the clothes, okay? So you are always at the level of your awareness, if you want to think about it in those terms. You can think of us as the ground crew for our collective expansion. Our soul, the collective us, and we're there too when we're doing this, right, does all the planning, the laying out of the events, right, which is the plan for expansion. And it is eternal. And we, as the physical aspect, do the footwork because we have the bodies, right? It's utilitarian. So in 3D terms, your soul is the boss and you're the employee. However, in 5D terms, and in this case, we are all self-employed. Okay? We are all self-employed. We're the boss as the collective us and the employee as the aspect. Interesting analogy, isn't it? Don't you think? And by the way, when the eternal plan is being created, which is in every moment, all aspects are, of course, in alignment. Okay? Anyway, you've probably heard us talking about the fourth dimension, and that's where this explanation really lends itself and comes into play. The decision, the choice to evolve is made from the soul's desire for expansion. Remember, the collective you. The purpose of our visitation to the third dimension is the expansion of the soul, the Godhead, if you will, and simultaneously the universe. If you haven't listened to or watched our Eternal Path of the Human Aspect video, take a few minutes and do that because it will offer some clarity about this movement through the third dimension. Joseph gave me a chart that we're sharing, and it is vague. It is just a concept for a visual, okay? You'll see that as we enter the third dimension and leave and enter again and leave again, or as Esther refers to it, croaking, right? We croak every time. Over the course of thousands of years, our physical vibration remains in the vibrational timeline where there is vibrational agreement for it. And the only thing we really take with us is the loving vibration that we expanded into while we're here, playing in the physical realm. That's our job. We collect the love and we bring it home. So we head home, as it were, and deliver the goods, which in this case is the love we've gathered during whatever physical lifetime we are experiencing. And our soul, the collective us, expands, right? And so does the universe. So does the Godhead, everything. However, when we return, we bring with us the expanded version of our non-physical vibration of our soul, all the love we've poured into it, right? But we pick up where we left off in our physical vibration because it's still in agreement with where we left it. So, and that's how we expand it, by coming back and getting it, right? So the human's experience is always movement forward toward the physical experience of the soul's expanded vibration, which is always expanding through all of its aspects. You know, there's unlimited aspects of our soul. We're just one of them. And there's unlimited aspects of us. So it's just huge. So really, it's a collective expansion process, you could say. Pretty interesting, but I know it gets big. So let's stay focused. Let's continue with the fourth dimensional aspect. So As universal vibrational beings, we are in constant motion forward. We are eternal, and the natural movement of the universe and every aspect of it, which includes us as the physical human aspect, of course, is forward. And through our focus, the momentum expands and gains traction, you could say, by way of our focus on the pure love vibrations, which is the vibration of our soul, individual and collective, of course. As we expand into more of who we really are, and we do that by focusing more and more on the loving soul's vibrational perspective, which is who we really are, as opposed to the third dimensional contrasting perspective, the chaos that's sitting out there, our physical vibration shifts. It always follows our intention and focus, right? For example, if you are focusing on problems and drama and limiting thoughts, you are expanding your physical vibration to be more and more dominant in the third dimensional perspective, right? Whatever you focus on gets bigger. The more you focus on vibrations that are out of alignment with your soul's vibration, the more of those vibrations, those thoughts, you are attracting and then focusing on and then creating momentum around and ultimately creating the experience of, right? So as you shift, and that's been the norm for most of us as we've traveled through the third dimension. But as you shift your focus to a different vibration, most of you know this, to your soul's vibration, the non-physical part of your physical vibration, which is who you really are and is all love, you naturally begin to attract from that vibrational pattern. And as you continue more and more to shift your focus, and you do this consciously, guys, you shift your focus, you begin creating the momentum of a new pathway. And the pathway attracts the new vibration that you're focusing on, bringing thoughts that are in agreement, in vibrational agreement with the soul's vibration. And you are then consciously shifting your physical vibration to be more dominant in the soul's vibration, as opposed to the vibrational timelines of the contrasting realm, where we've been sitting and focusing for thousands and thousands of years, through thousands and thousands of physical experiences. When you shift to, let's say, 50.1% of your focus, you are then entering the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension for the physical aspect is when your physical vibration is dominant in the soul's loving perspective. And then, as Joseph says, remember, it's all downhill from there, because now the more you focus on it, the bigger it gets, right? So soon you go from 50.1% to 52%, to 55%, to 75%. And you're doing this by consciously choosing what you want to focus on instead of, just playing it by default. Okay, so to be in vibrational agreement with the fourth dimension, your physical vibration must be dominant in the soul's vibration. When you enter this space of the fourth dimension, you then are attracting more and more of the loving vibration, which expands your physical vibration more and more. And ultimately, when you kick off, die off, croak, and then come back, you'll begin the next segment of your journey in the physical experience from a completely new perspective, which will be the perspective of your soul. It's a beautiful rendition of this. It's just beautiful. That was really good. Joseph says, we get over that third to fourth dimensional line in the sand, as it were. It's all downhill from there. And what they mean is that you are on a downhill slope of creating momentum. It's like being in the river, in a whitewater rafting river, all downhill. You don't need those oars. You're just going with the flow, right? And you're creating momentum from your soul's vibrational timeline. And you'll slide right into the fifth dimension from there. So we are just refocusing our physical vibration from the third dimension of perspective, from the third dimensional perspective, the third dimensional contrast, to the fifth dimension, soul's perspective of love. And everything shifts. Physical reality shifts because you're creating now from a different space. So, John, we know we are done with the third dimension again when we are not in vibrational agreement with it any longer. We think of our experiences here from a new perspective, and it's a vibrational perspective, which means, again, there's no right or wrong. There are and were no mistakes. There was only and is only ever experience, and the more we understand about who we really are, the more we understand it is all of our choosing. And for me, that was a really humbling understanding. I think for most of us, when we finally get it, that we're in charge, we go, oh shit, look what I did. And then we say, wow, look what I did. And look what I can do. It allows you to let yourself and everyone else around you off the proverbial hook. It's a peaceful place to be. So that's the answer to the first part, and I hope that made sense to you. Let me know if it didn't, John. I'm sure you will. The second part of John's question is, do those that reside there, and he's talking about the fifth dimension and higher, that are more highly evolved, come back to assist humanity, and are they not affected by the third dimensional experience? The answer to both these questions is yes. So the help, our assistance, always comes from the more expanded realms of awareness, because that's where the collective us hangs out and offers their perspective, which is the pure vibration of love. The Josephs of the world, the Abrahams and Seths of the world, your soul. The higher expanded, we say more expanded, some people say the higher vibrations of the world, they come back to assist, as you say, through the aspects who are in vibrational agreement with where the help is being asked for. But they don't see it as coming back because their focus and intention is on assisting. It's all from love, right? It's all from the space of alignment. So their intention and focus is on assisting in the movement forward of their own aspects, which simultaneously moves everybody forward, including the universe. Okay? All teachers are in agreement with not only their message, which is from the expanded realms, but also with the students or those who are seeking. There's a teacher for every student, and all teachers are teaching from their level of awareness and according to their individual and collective purpose and how they translate the vibration from which they see. I've not only experienced different readings from different teachers, all about the same subject and all different in content. That's because they're all interpreting from their understanding and from the level of awareness that they have. So, the logical next question to that statement is, so how do you know who's right? Right? And they say, first, there's no right and wrong, right? There's only interpretation and vibrational agreement. So when a message resonates, and you all know what that feels like, we feel it all the time, that means it's in agreement with your vibration, with your asking, okay? Now, it could be an agreement for 2 seconds or 20 years. The time doesn't matter. If it resonates, it's offering you something you're searching for. And of course, as we expand, our teachers change, right? Of course they would, because everybody's at a different level of awareness, okay? Anyway, I don't want to get off track here. In short, the messages are being expanded through the aspects. That's one reason Joseph tells us who they are in regards to Seth and Abraham, and that is to example the evolution of the message itself. It shows the expansion of the message, which is always the purpose, and that is to teach by way of example. The final part of this question is, does the third dimension affect them when they, quote, come back? Now, we know there's no coming back, right, from what we just said, only expansion beyond, right? So we teach through our aspects who are in vibrational agreement with the audience that's seeking. The only effect the third dimension has on our aspects is the effect they allow through and by way of their choosing. Okay? To those who understand vibration and choosing, they understand the experiences they are having are the experiences they are choosing. So yes, it affects them, but probably not how you intended when you asked this question. The effect is a result of their choosing, and their choosing allows their expansion. So it's all good. It's always all good. There's no going back, right? So the bottom line to this intense question is we never go back. Expansion comes from understanding, and you don't expand when you're moving backwards. It's vibrationally impossible for many reasons, not the least of which is there's no backwards, forwards, or sideways when it comes to vibration. There's only expansion through focus and manifestation through vibrational agreement. That just about wraps it up. Okay? I know this information can sound a bit circular again, overloaded with vibration, and that's because everything stems from vibration. All of creation is vibrational and non-physical first. Every single manifestation is evidence of the vibration that created it. Get that, guys. Every single manifestation that you have created, whether it is a material thing, a physical thing, an emotional thing, is evidence of the vibration you are creating from. When you begin to shift your understanding to a vibrational one, you will understand quickly your role in your creating of your own reality and the creation of your physical experience, which is your reality. It'll blow your mind, guys. Anyway, I guess that's enough for today. Thanks again, John, for your question, and thanks to all of you for tuning in to hear what we have to say, as always. If you have a question or you'd like to be answered on one of our Questions of the Week podcasts, feel free to email us at info@theteachingsofjoseph.com. We love you guys. Take it easy. Welcome aboard. Thanks for listening, everybody. Join us again for the next Question of the Week with Joseph. Take good care.